The limits of my language are the limits of my world. This quote by Ludwig Wittgenstein makes us realize how limited a child's world is when they are limited by a language. This can prove particularly hard for students in schools struggling with their own language and learning English. English language learners may have a hard time with literacy because they have to learn what everyone else is learning while learning academic English. Students may feel overwhelmed or like they are drowning in schoolwork because they don't understand the subject material and nobody has checked with them to be sure they understand. They may not have any help at home or feel comfortable talking to their peers about the problems they are facing in class. Sometimes students don't feel comfortable talking to their teachers either because they don't want their teachers to know how much they truly don't understand and how far behind they are. As teachers, we need to stop this before it gets out of hand and the child gets too far behind. Some solutions before Common Core were English language learner students were pulled from their classroom during certain subject areas and they were taught in a room in their own language, or they were grouped in a classroom with English language learners all day and taught in their language as well as in English. While this may be more comfortable for them at the time, this is doing them a huge disservice because they're behind their peers and they aren't practicing their English as much as they should. Other problems students encounter while learning English and with literacy are that school is the only place they can practice and speak English. Some parents may only speak one language at home, making it harder for children to practice their English outside of school. And some parents don't allow their children to speak English at home, they only allow their native language. Teaching English language learner students may be particularly hard for a teacher like myself who only speaks English and has been exposed to very little other languages. As teachers, we have to realize that what works for one child we previously taught may not always work for another child. We have to learn to critically think of solutions for our students to help them in their academic success. According to an article about preparing all teachers to meet the needs of English language learners, teacher education programs are a vital part in preparing teachers for all the students they will encounter during their career. State regulations need to include specific mention of the need for state-approved teacher education and alternative teacher preparation programs to require coursework and field experiences that prepare teacher candidates to work with English language learners. In addition, state agencies should require that teacher candidates demonstrate their knowledge and skills on state exams or performance evaluations. Finally, school district policy can include a section on teacher observation rubrics that requires teachers to demonstrate how they are meeting the language and learning needs of English language learners in their classroom. This information can in turn be used to support professional development aligned with teacher needs. According to Goldenberg, we can help our English language learner students by giving good instruction, clear goals, meaningful, challenging, and motivating context. A few practices we as teachers should try would be to modify our instruction and use familiar content for our students. We need to access their background knowledge and offer them lots of pictures that go along with our instruction. We need to make sure our students are aware and point out differences to them and assess their language and knowledge separately. As educators, we need to be trained and practice every day in our classroom with learning key words and transitioning words, gestures, images, labeling our classroom, give the students predictable routines, and give them good and meaningful feedback. It is possible to help all of our English language learner students with dedication and practice. Learning is immeasurable and impacts our lives in more ways than we can imagine. Most people don't recognize this while they are learning, especially English language learners, because they are facing many challenges and obstacles. But in the end, they will see the value of learning and appreciate the skills they have gained. Learn everything you can, anytime you can, from anyone you can. There will always come a time when you will be grateful you did.